People see us everywhere. They think you really care. But myself I can't deceive. I know it's only make believe.
All right, welcome to another episode of Will You Accept This Prose, the podcast where we boldly go where no person should free to go, which is the steaming planet of absolute wretchedness that is ABC's The Bachelor family of products. I am your author, Max Churchwell.
And I'm your analyzer, Kinsey Brenton.
And Kinsey, you know, it is summertime, and the living is certainly not easy, but I just thought we could take a minute here at the beginning to sort of talk about ideal vacation activities, I suppose.
Okay.
And you know that as someone who is such a big fan of Jimmy Buffett, my lifestyle and my aesthetic, my mindset sort of as a whole is very heavily island influenced.
Yes.
So it will come as no surprise to you that I love a big body of water. Love it. Love a good body of water.
Know this about you.
But let's take a moment to ask a question that should have been asked in the preparation for this episode of The Bachelor. What would you do if you were out just riding and skipping the waves of a big body of water and it was just cold and raining so hard? What would you do?
I would stay in the boat, get to land, cover myself.
Very quickly,
Mm-hmm.
I assume. Yeah, I think it becomes like a picnic under the awning at an overlook.
Yeah.
At that point. And
even
then
if the boat has like an awning, you can stay in the boat.
It's just you're not going to get away from that cold.
No.
So you're going to have to go to the picnic tables under an awning at the overlook and make a fire pit.
Yeah.
To have an even slightly decent time as far as your tactile experience.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, we'll save further discussion of that for later. No, well, I want to take just another minute on it.
Okay.
I want to mention, you've already made it clear what you would do on this boat, but what if I sweetened the deal and told you that on this boat, there was absolutely nothing to do, to a point where you got so desperate, the plan that was proposed to you was jumping off the top of the structure on that boat down into the very cold water. Would that make it better for you?
Yeah, I think I'd say no.
I feel like one would say no. I do feel like that. Because, and here's the biggest, you know what? Here's the best part of this boat. There's absolutely no alcohol on board. What's the plan, Ken?
We're going
What's
right
your
back.
plan then?
We're going right back
to land. Well, all right. That is just over 3 minutes. And legally, that counts as an introduction. Is it our best work? Possibly not. But hey, baby, now that's what I call an introduction. So let's talk about this episode. We are on the finale episode of Jason Mesnick's season of The Bachelor.
We finally know who Jason is going to propose to and marry and live
Spend
happily
the rest of his life with.
after with.
Exactly.
That's how this show always works. And that's why it's on its 13th season of The Bachelor, just had its 4th season of The Bachelorette, and there is one successful couple from it.
Now, remind me, because there's literally no way of telling. I assume that's when Jason Mesnick's season is airing, and not this one.
Yes.
You easily could have told me the same statistics on this one, and I would have been like, yeah, one working couple. That sounds about right. I don't mean to shit on your relationship, any still married contestants from one of these shows, but like, come on, dog, you know you're the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
You know that your relationship is more or less the lightning that managed to get trapped in a bottle. But all right, the teaser for this episode.
Yeah, the thing about this episode is that there's not really much to the teasers.
Yeah. Well, and no recap.
Yeah,
at
no
the beginning.
recap, which is very strange to me.
It's unheard of, unfounded. But sort of, I would say actually this teaser almost feels more like a recap because it doesn't offer new information other than one terrific grammatical error by one Jason Mesnick. Well, we won't say grammatic error. Let's just say dumb thing to say because I believe I have the order right. I think it is wrong in the notes that we have because I believe what Jason Mesnick actually says in regards to how he views Molly. I think he's speaking very abstractly and saying, like, she's just this amazing thing, like, whatever. He says, like, you can't get enough of, she's like oxygen. Hey, buddy. How's it going? How was it going that day, buddy? I'm sorry, Jason, but like you can't get enough of oxygen? That's not what she's like. Comparing someone to oxygen would normally not mean you can't get enough. It would usually mean something along the lines of you have to have it. But I'm glad you haven't overfilled the fucking air tanks, Jason.
Yeah. Although I will say, because you said it was wrong in the notes, no, he did say, Molly's like oxygen. I just can't get enough of her.
Really? Damn, I thought it was in the other order where there was
No.
any hope of saving him, but that one's completely damnable.
Yeah.
Damn, buddy, I was pulling for you ultimately, Jason. I was still gonna have to chastise you, but you looked better in my version of the story, dog. I'm sorry.
She's like oxygen. You can't get enough of her.
You
know.
sure can't, buddy. Unless there's an oxygen poisoning I'm not familiar with. But okay, there's one other thing we get that is actually noticeable at all from this little fake teaser, because it's all stuff we know. We get to see and I believe it's been called this before, the surprise visit that changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
That is Deanna showing up, which we've already mentioned that.
Which is not a surprise to us anymore.
Yeah.
We've seen it since the very first teaser.
Yup.
We know Deanna's coming. So finally we get that meeting that we've been waiting for all season. And boy, is it a good one. And we'll get to that later. It's been worth it. Every second of anticipation.
Don't we also, in this teaser, I feel like, again, it transitioned directly from, and I could be thinking of maybe something a little bit later, but I feel like it transitioned directly from the surprise visit from Deanna to the big cry heard round the world.
Yes.
And in this one, it becomes even more glaringly obvious that, as we've mentioned before, he is wearing an entirely different outfit in the big cry.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, I mean, when we watched before, you also caught that before me. When we were watching this season the first time, which we now know no one in the world deserves a second watch.
Hey guys, if y'all guys have watched one season of The Bachelor, don't go back and watch it again.
Yeah, you're done with that season. That season's expired. There's only enough for one per customer, or else it'll go bad. There's a shelf life on seasons of The Bachelor. Well, there's a best consumed by date, but really it means for just that one consumption.
Yeah, it's a one use only.
There you go. Yeah. So, all right, next. We have a wonderful moment where Jason, he's so excited to see Ty again.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually, I think what we called it before, because we saw this in a teaser already, we had talked about Jason was attempting to recreate, in a more appropriate way, Stephanie's run to her child. Mm-hmm. Which, remind me of her child's name? Sophia, of course. And if you'll recall, that was the child that she shoulder checked completely and then pulled back with her as she fell to her back on the sand.
Yeah.
In an attempt to recover any good optics for that run and hug. Jason does one where he kind of he very carefully squats down to grab Ty and then does the roll back.
It just looks so weird.
He's like a wind-up toy. Which keeps in point with our theory that he is actually a robot.
Jason is a robot.
There's just something about him that really could make one believe that he's a robot. I refuse to feel like a conspiracy theorist for that. I think it's just someone who's being very observant and open-minded.
Hey,
That's
Max,
who I feel like
Max,
we are.
Your tinfoil hat's a little crooked. Let me fix it for you.
Oh, thank you. I have to be careful or fucking the Bachelor's gonna hear me talking this shit. I gotta block their signal.
Okay, but Jason does that terrible run to Ty.
Terrible fake run to Ty.
And then we get...
Can I just real quick? It was a staged combat run to Ty. I think he had someone train him just to make real sure.
Yeah, they've rehearsed this multiple times. You don't run and pick up a child without rehearsing it first.
Well, because he was doing a very aggressive run. He was doing a very aggressive run, and he had, like, what it looked like a rugby ball, ultimately, which I feel was more appropriate as far as what he was like, hey, see the stark contrast of, like, yeah, I know how to very intensely run to my child and not shoulder check them. So you loved Stephanie so much, but really think about it.
Okay, but then Melissa gets to meet Ty, and, well, they go golfing, which
it's worth noting, hold on now, Mel doesn't have the greatest reaction to the going golfing. She was like, am I down for I'm down for anything.
Yeah, because I was just about to say, which is Molly's thing, is golfing.
Melissa's the only one to get invited to golfing, and it is after Molly invited Jason to golfing.
Yeah, and Jason loves golfing. Apparently, that's a big thing for him and his family.
Who
they
knows?
love golfing. And Melissa's not into golfing.
And props to her for, like, she didn't say outright, I'm not into golfing, but she did still make it clear, I am down to do the things you care about.
Yeah.
Whether I am particularly interested or excited about them at all.
Right. So, Ty immediately likes Melissa.
Yeah, which we've talked about before from the teasers. He immediately likes Melissa.
Yeah, just, they get along very well. She tells jokes with him, which...
Ultimately, they aren't the best jokes.
Well, it was the one joke that she told. There was only one joke told.
No, there were two, remember? Because there's a surprise that we'll discuss
we'll talk
later.
About that in a second.
So the first joke was she does a knock-knock joke, which let's recreate it real quick. Can you do Ty, or do you need to do Melissa?
I could do Melissa.
Okay.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Atch.
Atch who?
Oh, bless you. Did you sneeze?
And I'm shaking my head no for everyone at home. Because that's the extent of that joke. And frankly, Ty doesn't even look too pleased by it. He's sort of very neutral to the joke, and he's like,
no,
I didn't sneeze. I was answering the door, thank you. But they do, like, Jason leaves him alone for a minute because he's going to get a surprise for Ty.
Yeah. And
it seems like not the best moment, but it was pretty good. Like, I can say for sure, had someone left me alone with their 3, almost 4-year-old child, I would not done as well as Melissa.
Yeah, Melissa is very good with Ty. It just seems, her dealing with Ty just seems very natural to her. Like, she knows how to deal with kids.
And I mean, like, this isn't vocalized until later in the episode, but, like, later on, Jason says something specifically about, he saw her with her friend's 2 daughters.
Right. On
her hometown. And even then thought, like, okay, she, like, knows what's up with children. Mm-hmm. But okay, this fucking surprise for Ty.
Yeah, Jason.
He walks on to the fucking... I can't remember the name of the area right now because it's been too long since I played a golfing video game.
Green?
Is it the green? Who knows?
So, I don't know.
He walks onto the putting area of this hole, which actually does have multiple holes, so it could be literally just a putting area of its own independence. Which, by the way, Ty is better at golfing than Melissa.
Oh, he's so much better than Melissa.
We only saw her take one swing that was, like, No, there was genuinely some effort on that. And she actually came very close to the hole, but she overshot it significantly.
Like, way.
Way overshot it. And Ty's like, he had one from a pretty good distance for his age that he sunk.
Mm-hmm. His swing sucks, but...
It's, yes, bad form, good function. He gets the results, and that's what matters on the scoreboard, baby.
What if there was, like, a pro golfer who swung, like, just, like, held the golf club with two hands.
Two hands way below the handle.
Just kind of pushed it in.
Yup. It looked like a very bad push. And I think, actually, Kenzie, you started to talk a little shit. You had, like, a little quip about it, and then it sank. And I caught you, I think.
No, I think that did happen.
But yeah, then Jason, he walks on with this lamb. And of course the immediate...
Oh yeah, the surprise is a lamb.
It's a fucking lamb. And like, I get how a child would be into like getting to pet a lamb and like not be like in such a very private setting, getting to play with a lamb for a minute. I get how that's cool, but also there is not even a lateral thinking tangential connection between practicing your putting and fucking playing with a lamb.
Yeah, they're not gonna keep this lamb.
Or did they?
I cannot imagine that they did.
Let's do some more research before we cast such aspersions.
Fine, we'll
Not
do
right
research
now.
And I'll tell you guys next episode.
yeah.
Whether they kept the lamb.
There's gonna be more research revealed next episode, we already know.
Yeah.
So, like, we'll
Y'all
do an info
buckle
dump.
up.
Yeah, God, we gotta keep going. We can't just yet.
Well, Ty does get to name the lamb. He names it Sheep.
He names it Sheep, which, like, hey, you know what? Solid move. Solid move.
I just love how kids name animals. Our neighbor once, they had two dogs, a black lab and a yellow lab, and their kid got to named them both Blackie and Yellowy.
Not bad. You've actually made my story of my first dog more, like, related to what you were talking about. My first dog was, I think she was actually also a lab. But she had this black hair that almost, like, when I first sort of met her and played with her, it had this, like, blue sheen, so I did name her Bluey.
Bluey.
Can I, you know what? Here's the detail about the story of meeting my first, like, my dog.
I love it's not just Blue. You could have named it Blue, but no, Bluey.
For some reason, that felt more natural. Maybe it's because I was such a shitty kid that I was trying to gender the name since she was female. You already know Chaboy grew up shitty. I was raised as a white, heterosexual Church of Christ Christian. If you weren't expecting me to be shitty when I was a kid, you're wrong. If that offends you, you deserve it. I'm sorry. As someone who escaped it, those on the inside deserve that slam. But, yeah, no, I was meeting this dog, and I was trying to play with her, and she was, like, super hyped. Like, she was a very energetic, excitable dog, which I love. You know, I love a very peppy dog. She did, and I can't remember enough to give you, like, the full consequences of this. But she did, if nothing else, like, latch on to the crotch of the shorts I was wearing. I can't remember if she actually had me or not. That's as detailed I will get, had me or not. But I did have to, and literally, my family said, like, joked about, do we need to get the camera to send this to AFV? And I always thought America's Funniest Home Videos was mean to kids. Because there are terrible things that happen to children, and their whole family is just like, ha ha, idiot, we're going to make so much money. Do something about your fucking child, and I'll tell you, my parents did nothing for me. And so I did end up trying to, like, spin away from her to remove myself. Because I didn't want to shove her off my fucking crotch. And it did nothing. It was a long time that she maintained that latch. I don't remember if she ever made it off the ground to hold on to that latch. But I know I was doing my goddamn best and no one did shit for me.
They just watch.
This is why I grew up fucked up, Mom and Dad. I've told each of them not to listen to this podcast, but if you hear this one, you call me right now, you fucking cowards.
Poor Max. Poor little child Max.
Poor little child Max. People wonder why I was so shitty until I mellowed out. It's because I needed that mellow out, guys. I'm an entirely different person. I am not got grabbed on the dick by a dog when he was a kid. By his first dog. I am not got grabbed on the dick by his first dog, Max, anymore. I'm a better man. If I could go back the second Bluey got off my child dick, I would have punched my child self in the face and been like, you remember this! You deserved this! We talked about needing to pad this episode, but I just put so much padding in it. We didn't have a lot of notes, but I just put so much padding in this. So if this episode goes long, please try to see any value in the story I've just told. It was a very intimate and serious moment for me. Or comment to talk shit. Come at me. Come at me, you fucking plebeian.
I'll fight you in the comments.
You scrub in the comments. I'm fucking, you wish.
No, your mom.
No one that knows me, find me. Send me an apology if you know me. I expect to hear from at least 2 of you, and you know who you are.
Okay, we need to get back on this show.
Listen, I'm sorry. You didn't seem disappointed in my whole spiel there.
I'm not.
Thank you. Thank you for appreciating my tear. The yarn I just spun. Let's go.
Okay. Well, Melissa gets to meet Jason's family, the rest of them. And they do mention, they say something, oh, so Melissa, you're not an avid golfer, huh?
Yeah. And she does a good job of acting like it was such a fun day.
Yeah.
But I think she made it more about Ty, which was a very smart move.
Yes. Very much so.
And I will say, just real quick, she does later make a similar point, because they ask her about, you've been to Seattle now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about, what, more or less, I think they say, what could Seattle do for you? They are assuming, which, I guess is the standard, you are going to move to where Jason lives. Mm-hmm. Are you ready to do that? And she talks about, it's not where you live, it's the people where you live.
Right, she says...
That makes a home.
Yeah, she says she doesn't love Dallas.
She's not completely happy there.
Right.
She's happy with the people
With the people
knows.
there. And she's going to be happy in Seattle with Jason and with Ty.
Yeah. I think she says that she had even said that Jason and Ty would be her home more than Seattle would be her home.
Yeah, something like that.
Which is nice.
Yeah, very good thing to say. But one thing that does put a damper on things is the parents issue. Melissa's parent issue comes up again.
Yes, it does.
And Jason's brother, one of the clones, is just awful about it.
Yeah, he pushes it so fucking hard.
Yeah, one thing he says is, I don't think I could propose to a girl whose parents I haven't met, and I don't think Jason could either.
Yeah, how could anyone propose without meeting their partner's parents? Yeah. Which I understand the point he was trying to make, but it was really rough.
Mm-hmm. And he said it to just, the whole family is sitting there. It's, Jason's 2 brothers, one of their wives, and
who
Jason's
looks fucking terrifying, by the way. This wife has a fucking the Joker in an animated series style smile.
Yeah. And they just keep cutting to her with this huge smile. It's
but they have
scary.
To cut away. No, the second she gets to that big smile, they cut away. So they knew.
But yeah, it just, and I don't really remember what Melissa said to that. I mean, what can you say to that?
There's nothing great you can say. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I think she handled this whole situation very elegantly. Yes. I think she did the best that she could.
Right.
with the obstacles that she
Mhm.
had specifically.
And then when Jason's mom pulled her aside, she asked, Jason couldn't meet your parents, but what are your parents like? And Melissa got to, explain, like, we're a very close family. We're a very close-knit family. And I think that this whole thing is, Jason's not looking at them in the right light.
Yeah.
Because she said something like, she showed him a picture of her family, and he's like, oh, they're smiling here. And she's like, yeah, they're happy people.
They are happy people. I think she handles it very well. She comes off very nervous, though, and I think that's just because she has been asked questions like this so many times.
So much.
And I ultimately think she did a very good job of handling this.
I think so as well. But
if nothing else, she is playing the game well.
Yeah. At the end of the day, Jason's parents love Melissa.
Yeah, they do.
They think she's great.
And I will say real quick regarding Jason's parents, his dad looks way too similar to his brothers.
Yes.
Way too similar. Like, clearly he is older, but he does not look that much older than his sons. Like, his face is way too similar.
Yeah.
And he seems to be very genuine throughout this episode.
Yeah.
I want to give him that credit.
Yeah, Jason's parents seem great. And
I will say, I think his dad feels a little bit out of character trying to be as open and open-hearted and genuine as he is. But I really fucking respect him for giving it his entire effort to be open to this whole situation. I think that shows a lot of support for Jason.
Right. So then, and then of course Melissa gets to play with Ty some more. And we get a shot of Jason's dad, like, watching Melissa play with Ty, and he's got this just very sweet smile on his face.
He's so happy, and talks about, like, how it comes so easy to her when he talks to Jason, and talks about, like, he's just so happy to see sort of how happy Jason is with Melissa. And, like, that doesn't ultimately end up as a very dramatic change. When Molly comes over, like, he's not clearly let down by Molly or anything. No. He's just, he wants to be fully open with Jason. And he just sort of stammers and says, so much that I think he's having a little bit of trouble being this open. Especially in his talking head.
Yeah.
And good for him to being open when there weren't even the stakes of being open with his son.
Yeah.
He's doing his fucking best, and I respect him for it, for sure.
Okay, then it's Molly's turn. So Molly gets to meet Ty.
Wait, now hold on. And I think you were about to say this, so I'm sorry. I won't cut you off because I have to assume you're about to visit one of our favorite segments.
Yeah, Molly's wearing a scarf.
She is wearing a scarf.
It's been so long since we've seen you, Scarf.
It's been a hot minute compared to how frequently we were seeing them before in this season. And given the fact that we literally saw an episode where absolutely everyone was wearing a goddamn scarf. I'm pretty sure Jason and Chris Harrison are the only people on this season that have not worn a scarf yet.
Yeah, which cowards.
Fucking cowards. Chris Harrison, I get it. Like, that's not on brand for him.
He has to wear a suit.
He does have to wear a suit. Though, can I say, if he had done, like, a scarf at some point, I would even let him get by with an ascot. If he had done something like that at one point, you know he could pull it off, and you know it would be a powerful look.
Absolutely.
If he wore an ascot, I'd be like, oh, this fool's about to go to his yacht and ride it to his private golf club. He has a golf course that is exclusively for him.
Okay, so, yes, Molly is wearing a scarf when she meets Ty on the beach. Ty is not into Molly.
Yeah.
And we had mentioned this before because it came up in a teaser that Ty does not seem into Molly. And I was thinking maybe it's just a teaser thing. Maybe they're taking these shots out of context.
Out of context.
No.
Like, Ty doesn't hate Molly, but it is very clear he is not as into her as he is into Melissa.
Especially at first. Like, when Jason and Molly walk up, Jason says, hey, Ty, you want to say hi to Molly?
No, he does not.
He says no.
No.
It's like,
Can you give her a high five?
no.
He cannot. No, he cannot.
And I like, because he just, it's not that he just doesn't do it. He says no.
No.
And then Jason pulls out a Frisbee and they start playing catch. Ty will not throw the Frisbee to Molly.
No, he will not. And he also, and I mean, of course, because he's a 3, almost 4-year-old, he's real bad at throwing a Frisbee. And just keep that in mind, because there's a fucking miracle turnaround that comes in a second.
Yeah, and so finally Molly throws the Frisbee to Ty, who
Yeah,
has
Jason
not yet caught a Frisbee.
Correct. And I think Jason even has to prompt it. I don't think we see this, but I don't think there's any way it wasn't Jason saying, like, okay, Molly's going to throw this one and handing it over to her.
Yeah, so Molly throws the Frisbee. We get a cut, a different camera angle.
Exactly.
Ty catches a Frisbee.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, doesn't that really show their connection?
Or is it editing? Because here's the big miracle turnaround. Ty throws a Frisbee pass that fucking Molly manages to catch.
Yeah.
That feels fake
fairly
as shit.
Easily, too. Because it's not
yeah.
like a huge, like, oh, the Frisbee's way over there, let me run and get it.
She did not have to put effort into it. It's like it just fucking made it to her. And I'm not saying a producer did it, so they fucking defo could have. But
I would love to see that footage.
yes, I certainly would. Let us see the fucking producer. We'll put it on producer watch. But, yeah, no, Molly manages to catch it. But then, they switched to a kite. That's what they're playing with now.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, ultimately, can I say, even as a 22-year-old man, fun day for Ty.
Yeah.
Fun day. I would love that. If I had a date who was like, let's go play Frisbee and fly kites, I would immediately propose. I would immediately be like, hey, so let's do this forever.
Yeah.
Will you fly kites with me for the rest of my life? But if I were Jason goddamn Mesnick, this person would say no if I asked on that basis. Because he's real bad at kites.
He's bad at kites. He just wouldn't let go of the kite. Because,
Yeah.
like, Ty was running, you know, with the string.
And it's a pretty big kite.
Yeah. But Jason just, like, kept holding on, wouldn't let go, and then it tanked. It's like, Jason, you gotta let go at some point. When the wind catches it, you let go. You let it go.
I completely understand helping him get it started, because, I mean, when I was a kid, certainly older than Ty, I was flying kites smaller than this.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's like the producers just had limited options. But fucking Jason runs past Ty.
Yeah.
The half of the length of the fucking string. So there's no way it's staying up, and it fucking flies the rest of the way and just nosedives. Also, one time I had a kite nosedive just enough to knock my dad's hat off when he ducked. It was a very cool moment for me. I imagine my dad was not thrilled about it.
It's wonderful.
It's a great memory for me, especially because I keep getting on personal stories, but I think you'll appreciate this one, at least, Kinsey. One time for Christmas, I got this thing that was a remote control car that could, like, with parts that could be replaced, it could sort of transform into a remote control boat or a remote control airplane.
Nice.
I got to play with the car and the boat. My dad wanted to fly the airplane first so he could try to help me, which I understand. Mm-hmm. But he fucking crashed that motherfucker and it broke.
No!
Now, Dad, if you're listening to this, you already knew I was mad about you for this. So if I don't receive a newly bought remote control boat / car / plane, you are on the thinnest fucking ice. Because now you know, old man. You know for sure it's bad enough I will publicize it.
That is so sad.
It's very sad. And as I said, I have given him shit for it since. But it took me a minute to feel comfortable enough to be like, oh, by the way, hey, fuck you for doing this to my fucking plane. I've since had remote control helicopters, and I did fine.
We've had remote control helicopters.
I got the ones that, like, are almost like laser tag, and they can
What?
shoot them with the laser, and it knocks them down. Listen, my dad could have been going easy, but I think it's because he's old. I beat my dad at that every time,
Nice.
and I hope he felt like 2 inches tall for having broken my remote control kite when I was so young, and it was so formative.
Did you ever have those, like, laser tag guns?
Oh, you know I did. You know I did. And I don't know if my dad ever played with me. Man, this isn't about, like... I'm not trying to bash my dad this hard, but...
Yeah, currently the setup right now, Max is laying down on the couch, and I am sitting beside him in a chair with my notebook out,
Though
and my glasses on the bridge of my nose.
I think you were sitting there like that, but I'm going to guess, even from where I'm lying, I'm going to guess that you're just doodling Chris Harrison. Or Jason Mesnick, but Chris Harrison deserves it more. So let me see the Chris Harrison drawing.
No, don't look at my notebook.
I've stolen the notebook.
No, you're gonna see all my CH plus KB doodles.
I'm gonna ignore that. Oh wow, this bust, this face, and a little bit of chest of Chris Harrison is amazing. And I won't tell him about how good the hog is. But you ought to know it's very good. Can I say? Nice hog.
No, Max, you can't say that, because if Chris Harrison is listening, this
Hey-
is gonna be so bad.
Hey, Chris Harrison and all of Kenzie's coworkers and students.
No!
The hog looks great.
I'm an educator!
Just, you give them me as a character reference and I'll tell them, listen, I'm the bad one. I'm the one committing all this sin against Chris Harrison.
God. I'm crying.
Although, because I'm not an educator, I'm going to go ahead and guess, Chris Harrison, nice hog. I'm going to go ahead and put that on the table. Nice hog, Chris Harrison. You wish I was ashamed, people who are not Chris Harrison. I just hope Chris Harrison is proud.
Ugh.
Chris, text me. My personal phone number is beep. I'm not gonna edit in the sound. Chris, I'll tweet you maybe sometime. Maybe. Nah, if I tweet Chris Harrison, I'm just gonna have to say nice hog. I'll edit all this out. I hope that barely made it on this podcast.
Where even are we?
I distracted everyone talking about kites and then remote control cars / airplanes / boats.
So after they play with the kite, they go around and they find what is called beach rings.
Yeah, which I guess are just shells with a hole in them.
Hole in it that you can put your finger in.
That you can put your finger in.
Which they find so many of them.
They do find a lot of them because they show up at the house that his family is staying in, and they have beach rings for everyone.
Yeah. So, Molly gets to meet the family. Jason hands out all the beach rings.
Yes.
And we see Molly talking to the two brothers.
And of course, Sean is the one that raises a difficult question.
Yeah,
again.
he was like, we're so tired of seeing our brother hurt. What makes you feel secure in your feelings for Jason?
Which she does not provide a direct answer to.
No, she's just like, I do feel secure in my...
I feel very secure.
Yeah, in my feelings for Jason, and then just a bunch of rambling. She's like, you're just going to have to trust me on that.
Yeah, it is weird for her to say to these people that she's never fucking met, like, I just need you to trust me.
Yeah.
Well, dog, they're asking you this question for a reason, and it's not because they can blindly trust you.
Yeah. But then that's
pretty much it.
Yeah.
Other than the fact, like, Jason's mom takes Oh, do I have this written down wrong?
No,
okay,
Jason talks to his mom. I don't remember seeing Molly talk to Jason's mom. She might
Doesn't-
have.
I feel like... Okay, Jason talks to his mom, but the mom says something about the fact that...
Oh, wait. Melissa at some point said that she... No, Molly did talk to Jason's mom, I think, because Jason's mom asked her, how do you feel about moving to Seattle? And Molly said, I can move to Seattle, no problem, I'll have Jason there. And she says, I can have my career there.
Yes,
Because-
and that is the only difference between what Melissa and Molly said about moving to Seattle is Molly mentions her career.
Yes, and this episode, I have never noticed Molly talking about her career at all, because Jillian was always the career woman.
Yeah, it's weird that this is only coming out now, and I'm not sure if that's just that we haven't seen it before, or that Molly doesn't recognize how bad it is to bring this out now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that's not something his family wants to hear.
Yeah, and I think her job is department sales buyer.
Yeah, so I don't know if she had to mention... maybe she thought that it was going to be a good aspect of the fact that, like, oh, also, I can still have my career there, no problem. She has a very broadly applicable career.
Right.
Whereas... Well, actually, no. Do we know if Melissa is a teacher yet, or if she's just trying to get her license?
She had said that she was just planning on getting her license. What we know is that she is a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader.
Oh, right. Man, that is kind of... I mean, I understand sharing your aspirations, but I feel like when Jason asked her about the fact that she was trying to get her teaching license to teach first grade, she probably... I don't know. I feel like she should have more talked about the fact that, like, well, that's only my goal, and if it takes me a while to achieve that, then blah, 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 blah.
I mean, she made it clear that she's just... I mean, because I believe in a bit of the research I just read, which I'm not going to give any specifics, but it said...
don't do it yourself. Wait till next week. Trust me.
Yeah. It said Melissa became a cheerleader in the 2006-2007 season. So she was a cheerleader for 2 years, because this is 2009.
Right.
So this could be she's just finishing that. And so now it's like, oh, now what do I do with my life?
Right. She's sort of like, she has had enough, but she doesn't have a, like, firmed up, completed plan. She just knows what she's working towards. I can definitely respect that.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to talk down on sharing a goal at all. I just meant, like, it's very difficult to speak definitively about your future.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but then after Molly leaves, Jason gets to talk to his mom. And his mom, or he says to her that early on, and we saw this in a teaser.
Yeah.
He says, early on, I said that I couldn't see myself letting Molly go. And then I would say I couldn't let Melissa go either.
Yeah.
So he's having a real dilemma, and his mom, says that she likes both of them, but Molly is much more career oriented, while Melissa is very family oriented.
Yeah.
That's all Melissa was talking about, was how important, family would be, and how important Jason and Ty together would be for her. And I think that's the huge difference, was that Melissa brought up Ty a lot more than Molly did.
Yeah, which, as I said before, that could just be Melissa playing the game well, or it could be that, like, Molly really did want to put more emphasis on the other thing. But let's go ahead. Let's actually jump ahead to Jason and Melissa's date. So the first thing is, as was referenced in the intro, they have a very bad boat ride. They go out on this boat, and it's worth noting that, unfortunately, Jason really dressed for the weather. Like, he had just some fucking cargo shorts on.
He's wearing cargo shorts.
And he had a windbreaker, this, like, essentially weatherproof jacket. And then they go on a boat ride, and Jason
Melissa looks nice. She's wearing, like, a sundress thing.
And it looks fucking great on her. Good color, good cut. And then they go out on this boat ride.
And he's wearing cargo shorts.
Yeah, he at first appears underdressed, but then you see what the weather is like on this boat ride. And Jason says something about it was supposed to be this gorgeous boat ride, but then it's pouring down rain and it's very cold.
What if it turned into a Gilligan's Island thing where the storm came in and washed them away and they were on an island with them, Gilligan, the skipper too, the millionaire and his wife, the movie star, and the rest, which is the professor and Marianne, who didn't get added to the intro until season 2.
It was just way too likely, I think, on this date. But on this date, when eventually poor Melissa has to put on some shitty hoodie because she is just so destroyed by the rain, she tells Jason the good news about her parents, and very quickly, based on what she says in her talking head about, like, you know, I didn't plan on bringing that up so quickly, but it just felt right, whatever, tells Jason about, like, my parents are willing to talk to you on the phone.
Yes, and that's what, we had seen Melissa talking to her parents on the phone and being like, hey, I need you to just talk to him.
Yes. Oh, also real quick, we do have to mention there was a producer spotted just fucking doing the dishes in,
after the
I
boat
assume,
ride.
Jason's current, like, condo, whatever the fuck.
They're having this, like, serious romantic conversation, like, in the living room, and you see a producer just, like, opening the
dishwasher. There is an unfortunate camera placement. But then we have a teaser. And we see Molly giving Jason what appears to be this, like, very hot and intimate massage. And after the teaser, we do get Jason and Melissa's date. And here's the thing about theirs. There was rain during their fantasy suite date, and there was rain during this date. But Molly came prepared. Molly was aware the weather was going to be like this. And so she actually had some date shit set up, like, at the house she was staying in. And she was like, I kind of took, in a talking head, I think, she was like, I kind of took control, and I took us back to my place for a romantic evening.
Yeah, because she's like, Jason had this romantic
fantastic day planned.
But because of the rain, couldn't do it.
Like, they get back to the house, and there's these massage tables set up, and it looks like it's going to be a couple's massage. But then they both get in their swimsuits, and Molly gives him a very, very shitty massage.
Yeah, there are 2 beds set up.
Yep.
But Molly is just giving Jason a massage, and I say that generously. Because she just kind of runs her fingers very lightly across his back and his arms.
Like, it's clear. I think she was almost trying to sort of tease him, maybe. But, like, why is this your strat, Molly? Because I feel like you defo had this planned. She, like, they walked up to the couple's massage table, and she was like, all right, strip down.
Yeah.
And it's like, dog, if you had this planned, why were you trying to trap him? Why were you trying to mislead him? But her massage sucks shit. And the next thing we get is she has created this weird, like, children's book / scrap book.
Yeah, it looks like a children's book. It's got on the front cover, it says, "A Fairy Tale Love Story" by Molly.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, all about their journey.
Yeah, which she even, like, 2 of the maybe 4 pages we see include, like, the first page where it says, you know, there was a boy named Jason who invited 25 girls to whatever, it cuts away. And then later on, we see a page that says, like, having only 12 girls now, blah, 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 blah.
Mhm.
Even quicker cut on that one.
Yeah.
And so it's defo just like their own story, which she has tried to frame in the style of a children's book, but she also has, like, keepsakes, you know, like
yeah.
plane tickets and date cards and stuff like that.
And the original sheet of paper she wrote her beautiful song on. The best swan of the sea.
Molly is the best swan of the sea. Molly can still just, like, fuck off with that shit. Yeah, no, there's no way Ty is reading that, but...
Yeah, there's no pictures.
There's no pictures. And that's when Jason gets to call Melissa's parents.
Yeah, of course not while he's on the date with Molly.
No,
But-
yeah, for sure. It's later on that
Well,
night.
he was like, hey, wait a second.
I'm going to cut you off because I don't even want to imagine it. If you can finish your scene description if you
Nah.
want. It's too bad for me.
Yeah.
And that's saying a lot.
Yeah, I think it was the next day he got to call Melissa's parents. And we didn't really get to hear much of the conversation. They kept it very
Pretty private,
Mhm.
which I appreciate because, like,
Yeah.
that's what the parents wanted. We don't hear anything they say. We just hear Jason's responses.
Mhm.
And also, I will say, in a talking head, he's sort of like, I think he very much appreciates this chance, even though it's unusual.
Yes.
He says he thinks it's very real to have been able to just speak to them over the phone.
Mhm.
And I mean, he had some really good stuff to say. It didn't seem particularly forced or anything.
Yeah.
It was just kind of odd.
Mhm.
And then, whoa.
Here
it's
it
the
is.
visit that
Here
will
it is.
change everything.
Oh, I've been waiting for this all season. Yeah, this visit from Deanna, it's not really much.
Yeah.
They built up to it so hard.
So much. And basically what happened is, like, she shows up and she says that she makes a mistake. She mentions that she chose the wild card. Although I think the mention of the wild card comes after, like, she has said, you haven't proposed yet, I still have a chance. And then basically Jason very gently and politely says, nah, not really. And she offers him...
He says, I guess what I need to say, all I can say is thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Yeah.
But, he's got two women that he's in love with.
Uh-huh. And she immediately switches
Yeah.
to offering him advice. And that's when I think she says something about, you could end up choosing the person who is just, like, fun and maybe kind of crazy right now or
Mhm.
whatever. And that will end up being a difference. I mean, I think you said, she basically said, I didn't pick the safe choice and that was my mistake.
Yeah, it seems like what she was saying was that Jesse, the one that she chose, he was the riskier option. Jason was the safe option, and she chose poorly.
Yes. And she has a really wonderful goodbye from him.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's all just, Jason keeps it very platonic. And
Mhm.
she says, as she is getting into the limo or the SUV, whatever the fuck, as far as, this final rose ceremony, she says, be smart, be honest, and be confident.
Yeah, because she made a big deal about, she followed her heart. And he said something about, I guess I need to follow my heart. She says, don't follow your heart, lead it.
Lead it, which is very interesting.
Mhm.
And I think what she's ultimately just saying there is, like, don't just go with what feels right. Really think about it.
Because you mentioned while we were watching that, the feelings change day to day depending on who you're with.
Yeah.
So you can't just follow what feels right in that moment
Mm-hmm.
because it'll change once you see the other one again.
Right. You have to get all the information you can before you really think it out, or otherwise you're working without potential resources.
Yes.
We then get, and I'm not sure if it's in a teaser or not, but the note I have is that Jason says, Molly is a tomboy gone pretty. I'm not sure.
Just bad.
Yeah, I don't know when in context that came, but I know it was gross whenever the fuck it came.
Yeah. There was like this whole montage, like you saw scenes of Molly and Melissa getting ready, and Jason picking out the ring, and we'll get to that in a second. And him saying how he feels about Melissa and Molly on top of that. So all that stuff was kind of happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, no, this rando woman named Emily comes in with rings that we do see are Neil Lane
brand.
Excuse me, I wrote it down right. I just pronounced it wrong. Yeah, Neil Lane branded, but this woman Emily is here. And Jason actually says that he needs a ring that represents them.
Yeah,
not
which
her.
ring represents them? Which it seems to me like he has not decided yet.
It's another thing that is just odd. The very nature of it is odd.
Mm-hmm.
But he does say that Molly is fun and passionate, and I have again here oxygen. And he says Melissa sort of represents love.
Yeah, he says with Melissa, I just feel love.
Yeah. And there are some very cinematic shots of these rings.
So no, it's him standing with the ring that he chose.
Yeah.
Looking at it real dramatic, and like the camera movements.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's
a pan shot, a sweep.
Yeah, there's one sweep where he like closes the ring box and it travels up his arm back to his face.
And it's so slowly that he closes this ring box. But then, of course, and I think there's actually a commercial between the two, but the teaser must not have been anything if there was one.
Yeah.
When we see like Melissa and Molly getting into their cars. Also, Melissa had to climb up a pretty steep driveway in her heels and essentially a sundress gown. That's what it kind of looked like.
It looked very nice on her.
It was wonderful on her. But there's this really big, dramatic music, like it sort of zooms in on Jason's face. There's some camera movement and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get foot first. We see Molly stepping out of the first car.
Yes, the dramatic who's it gonna be music accumulates to Molly.
Yeah.
Stepping out of the car.
And she's like, she's saying all this stuff as she's walking there about like, more or less, she's excited to be engaged.
Yeah. And there's an unfortunate thing that everyone who watches The Bachelor regularly knows. It's that the person who shows up first does not get proposed to.
Yes. And I wonder if she knew this the whole time. She was like, it's too early in the day for me to be getting the proposal.
Yeah, because when she gets over there to Jason, she jumps in first and she says something. She's like, before you say anything,
I just have to say.
Yeah, and there's this long thing about, how much she loves him and cares about him, this whole process and everything. And so Jason does his thing, which ends, he talks about how she's amazing and all this stuff. Their time together was wonderful. A lot of praise. He says, I don't know how I could ever let you go. Big dramatic pause.
Huge dramatic pause.
But I have to.
He put the fucking rug that he was going to rip out from under her, he put it under her.
Yeah. It's like he didn't have to phrase it like that, but
Absolutely,
he did.
He
really did Molly so dirty.
And that's why she reacted with just, wow.
Yeah.
And he said all this stuff, like, basically it was, I wish I had reasons other than just I'm in love with another person. But that's really all he has to say.
Yeah, and which Molly responds with, I think you've made a mistake. A big one. And then he walks her back to the car, and as they're walking, she's just, saying, I don't get it. And then she says, I think you're just going to get hurt again. Mm-hmm. And to which Jason replies, or all I can say is, I think you're wrong. And then Molly says, I hope I am.
A very respectable exit for this show. And that's when we get Jason's big cry. Like, he walks out to the balcony, sort of slams his arms down on the balcony and leans over on them to cry. which I understand crying that hard for sure. But, like, it seems very dramatic. We even talked about a producer was giving him the, like, big windmill run home sign from the third base coach.
Yeah, as he's,
baseball.
like, walking somewhere to sit down and cry, they're like, no, Jason, go, 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 go. Balcony.
And then we see Molly in the car, and she's still pretty respectable. None of it is about, I'm so much better than this other person. It is all genuine, which, I mean, yeah, it's still a comparison. Don't get it twisted.
It's just... She says, I just thought he'd be smarter about it. I think he's going to get hurt again in a big way. And
it shows a lot of thought, if nothing else.
It's just the fact, I just thought he'd be smarter about it. It's like, what does she know about Melissa that we don't?
Yeah, that's the only bit of it that is more of a slam. I think, I mean, though, it's very difficult to get a deep enough read on Molly and Jason's relationship to say this with any certainty. But, like, I don't know, it does feel like she is, rather than putting the, like, stank on Melissa directly, she is just talking about what the consequences of Jason's actions could be.
Right.
And so being able to say, like, I hope I am wrong about it, I think that shows,
I liked that.
She's showing concern without saying, like, nah, Melissa sucks, and you should have gone with me. So it's at least a little better than some exits.
Right. But then it's Melissa's turn, and she goes up to him, and he has this, like, very forced smile.
Yep.
But it is, you can tell immediately, you know, he seems happier.
Yeah.
And he, you know, says, there's something I've been wanting to say to you for a very long time. I have completely fallen in love with you.
Which she loses it. She, like, jumps up and down.
Yeah,
and
she, like,
squeals.
she throws her arms around his neck.
Mm-hmm. And it's ultimately just, it is a proposal.
Yeah.
It is certainly a proposal. But she, like, when he gets down on one knee and asks, she's like, can you excuse me for a second? Turns away from him and just screams for a bit, basically.
Yeah.
But then they're walking back to, like, Jason's balcony and, you know, being right outside his little apartment thing. And Ty comes out. And both Jason and Melissa both, like, squat down to try to catch him in a hug. And Melissa is kind of in front of and to the right of Jason. Ty was going directly for Jason, but Melissa, with her left arm, got him and literally even says, I caught him. Dog, how does that look for you, though?
Yeah.
That's ultimately it. He took to her more, but that's still not a great look because even you know, oh, I just caught him.
Right. And then there's a pool at this, like, this place that Jason is staying, and they all jump in their nice clothes.
And even Ty at first is like, nah, I'm not doing
they
that.
like all hold hands and they're like, 1, 2, 3, jump. And Ty just lets them jump.
Yeah, at least Jason knew not to hold his 3, almost 4-year-old's hand as he jumped back into a pool. But Ty did not want to. He was not down with it. And then Jason was like, come on, jump in. And Ty said, I mean, he did.
Yeah.
But they did cut away, so I imagine there was a bit of a pause there. There was some hesitancy.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it, is we see everybody swimming, and then there's not really a teaser for next time, other than I think they showed the same thing they've shown before. Maybe. Like, we can't even say for sure that they did.
They did it a little earlier in the episode, but right from this, like, happy moment, it's like, and then and then catch you, whatever, after the final rose, starting right now.
Yeah, and we know that final rose begins with the camera zooming in on Chris Harrison in a very dark, empty studio, and the lights come up, and he's like, basically, what's happening next could be so dramatic, so emotionally traumatic, that we've decided, out of respect for both parties involved, not to have a live studio audience.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, good on them for being respectful of that. But also, we'll have more stuff about that when we actually watch it again.
Yeah, our next episode will not be starting right now. Unless you are listening to it a week late. Then you can watch it right now.
You know what? Pretend, I'm just going to copy and paste into the intro. If you want, you can wait to listen to this episode so that you can listen to this one and the next one concurrently. But unfortunately, I missed that opportunity. But okay, yeah, this will conclude another episode of Will You Accept This Prose?
Yeah, it was the finale, the big one.
The big one. And so, of course, we will have some more episodes regarding After the Final Rose.
Which is a two-parter.
It's a two-parter. And so we will potentially do like a special after that.
Oh, hey, if you are watching on Netflix and you haven't made this mistake yet, do not go down on the episode list too far if you are trying to avoid spoilers. Because the last title you need to see is After the Final Rose Part 2.
Yeah.
Don't look past it because you'll get spoiled real big like I did.
Yep. Click on next episode, not anything else.
Yes.
But all right, there we go. This will conclude another episode. I hate to give all the same house cleaning notes as last time, but, you know, if you're enjoying the show, like, if you're on YouTube, like it. If you're on Apple Podcasts, give it a rate. If you're, well, you know, a review. If you're on some other podcatcher, I'm not sure where all our podcast hosts publishes this, but like, hey, wherever it is, spread the word. Tell your friends if you like it. And yeah, with all the self-promotion that's so gross out of the way, I am your author, Max Churchwell.
And I am your analyzer, Kinsey Brenton.
And join us next time for the most dramatic episode in Will You Accept This Prose history.
One and only prayer is that someday you'll care. My hopes, my dreams come true. My one and only you. No one will ever know how much I love you so.